Cole, buddy, we run out on Chadwell back here in the bank, and we run out on Clell Miller back here, too. Now, Bob's your brother. For my brother Frank, you'd understand. Sometimes one got to be left behind so the rest can move right along.
Let the dead bury the dead. Why, Jesse's just saying what the Lord said, Cole.
Bob ain't dead, Jesse ain't the Lord, and we ain't going.
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Welcome to Smoke Wagon with your hosts, Tin Killer Cole and Ox Ford.
Howdy, Hang Gang. Welcome to Smoke Wagon. My name is Tin Killer Cole. That right over there making all that racket, that's my good buddy, Ox Ford. What are you doing over there, Ox, besides making all that noise?
Oh, just singing along to our theme. Mm-hmm. Just singing along.
Good timing.
I like it.
So
it's a good song.
What's new?
We should get the guy on one day. I don't know what his name is.
Gosh.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is. We should know that.
You should have told me that you planned on bringing this up, because I probably could have told you.
Yeah, it's okay. We could look it up. We can look it up one day.
Dallas Kincaid.
This episode. Yeah, I knew that.
Dallas Kincaid is his name. That's the gentleman who.
If we ever get. We're just gonna sit there and let 15 seconds of fucking silence just sit there. Dallas, Dallas, that was for you. All that silence is for you.
Right. The gentleman who does the intro to the Smoke Wagon podcast is Dallas Kincaid. We probably should have brought that up before now, because we're just using his music, and he's not getting anything from this.
Well, actually, we did. We brought that up on the first episode.
Oh, did we?
I believe we did.
Okay.
If not, I meant to. Oh. And so we
may or may not
counts,
have.
really, Dallas. Dallas, you need to get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing. I've looked up Dallas Kincaid since, right? And I was like, I really like this song, and it's got an NWO country fucking feel to it.
Yeah.
I feel like every time that song plays, I want to put my hands out and start sliding in like fucking Scott Hall and throw out the Wolfpack.
Hey yo,
yeah, hey yo, it's survey time. I want a big cowboy entourage like that, Curly Bill.
Yeah,
Virgil. I just want to hire the wrestler Virgil as Curly Bill, and it'd be fucking great.
Well, I remember when we started looking for the music for the intro, you were like, just find something that sounds like Johnny Cash right before he died, something like God's Gonna Cut You Down or something like that. So I was I was looking. Obviously, I can't use that because I don't want to pay fucking $15,000 for the rights or whatever. So I was just looking through all this royalty-free music to try to find something that sounded vaguely similar, and that's what we came up with. Old Dallas Kincaid. I don't even know the name of that song, honestly.
Yeah, I know. That would be nice if we I like to do that. I like to surprise you once in a while. You're just to have you screaming your head off like, what the fuck?
Oh, I think it's called Love and Fear. Planned? I think the song is called Love and Fear.
It is called Love and Fear because that's what. Let's talk about. I thought he was saying, my name's Nate and I love beer and Jack is a glove. I mean, Ox is a glove.
Yeah. It was Jack? I was singing that song. Yeah.
Oh. No, I really like it. So I went on, I think it was YouTube, and I was looking up just some of his performances. And I don't think the guy's performed in years, so I don't even know if he's alive. And check this shit out.
Could be dead.
Check this shit out. He's not even American.
Dallas Kincaid's not?
Yeah.
What is he? Wait.
He's
No.
Fucking French.
French?
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's French.
He's fucking
music?
French. It's weird. I looked it up and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know if we'd be able to have him on the show because Jackie don't parlez-vous. I mean, Ox doesn't parlez-vous.
Ox doesn't parlez-vous. View.
Yeah, parlay view.
See, that sounds more French anyway.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
You would fucking play PlayStation too much.
I need to put the thing down. Can't do it.
So Listen, speaking of Ox, I just want to thank Tommy Marsters. I believe that's his last name. Tommy, I just want to give him a little plug, a little shout out. Yesterday, I went and I got tattooed at Good Vibrations in St. Clair, Pennsylvania, and I got a wagon wheel with an X on my hand. That so it looks like it says Ox.
Very cool tattoo.
Yeah, that's my moniker for the show. As we explain this.
Word.
It's also my grandfather's nickname because his last name was Oxenford. Yeah, so I got that, and it was actually 5 months to the day that my grandpa died. My grandpa died October 4th, 2016, and I got it done on March 4th. So.
A little commemorative tattoo to remember the family.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. Very nice little gesture.
Yeah, I got that. So I want to thank Tommy and Go Vibrations. And then I got a Paladin chess piece from it's the insignia from Have Gun Will Travel.
And of course, we'll go ahead and stick those pictures up on Twitter after this episode is published.
Yeah, maybe because we know me. I lack in
yeah, you never send me the stuff when you're supposed to.
He's been asking.
I keep asking for the Indian bust.
It'll happen.
Never comes.
Eventually.
Never comes.
Now, am I coming in? I don't know if there's a delay or anything because I'm looking at my because when we talk to each other, we bring up cameras, so we like to look at each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I adore him.
And for some reason, it looks like my camera's lagging. I don't know if it's connection or what, and I hope that the audio's not lagging. So the last episode, episode 5, we had an awful lag issue. It was like a 4 or 5 second lag. It was bad.
It took me like 5 hours to edit that whole podcast because I was cutting out all the delays that we had in our because it would be like me asking you a question and then 4 seconds of silence before you're like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh God. It was just me doing that over and over and over again, cutting those out.
It's reminiscent of the earlier, podcast where you thought that, because I remember you calling me. You're like, it just sounds like everything that I'm saying you think is dumb because you're just like. You're pausing and you're going, yeah.
I remember. It sounded like, no, dude, the very first podcast we had the same delay. Yeah, we had the same delay issue, and it sounded like you were. It sounded like you were giving me the, the silence that you would give somebody after they to try to troll them a little bit after they ask a question, like just to make them feel like they asked a dumb question. Oh my God! Of course, there's got to be somebody running by my house right now, so my dogs are going to lose it.
Just yell out your window. Tell them to shut the fuck up and go away. You're doing a podcast.
Like, hey, run the other way, fucko.
It's funny. You should really get like an on-air sign, just stick it right outside your window.
Yeah, I know, right?
So and underneath have one that says "Have some respect."
Right.
All right. I'm recording. Have some fucking respect. When I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, which is one of my favorite towns in the world that I've been to. I love Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. I love fucking great little town. And Wilmington, North Carolina. I mean, if I could move there tomorrow, I honestly would. I love, Wilmington's fucking great. But when I was there, I toured the studios there, which is where they filmed Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, Firestarter, which is a Stephen King
movie. That was with Drew Barrymore, right? She was a little kid.
Yeah, when she was a little kid, they filmed that there.
Shitty book and shitty movie.
I don't know. I haven't read it or watched it, but
not very good.
I would
not Stephen King's best work.
Check this out. I love Drew Barrymore, but that lisp, dude, it just drives me crazy. But I love her. And I don't know why. There's something about her that's just so adorable.
She is adorable.
I don't find her sexy or I just find her adorable. I want to be best friends with Drew Barrymore.
I remember when I was I think I was in high school when she did Playboy, and I got my hands on the Drew Barrymore Playboy, and she was in a swimming pool or something. And oh boy, did I have?
We had a good
time. I had a good time with that.
Yeah,
magazine.
you like young Britney Spears. I don't like. Yeah, we have different fucking. I think Taylor Swift's really attractive, and you don't.
Nah,
it's fine. It's whatever. But anyway, going back to it, they also filmed The Crow at that studio. So I did the tour.
Is that where Brandon Lee died?
Yeah, it's where he died. What's really cool about that studio, though, and I guess this is all studios, but it's the only studio I've ever been to, is that they have like a stoplight right outside of the studio, like attached to it.
Yeah.
So basically, like if cars are driving like on the premises, they have to stop while they're like recording a scene because they don't want the cars, the car noise
traffic
right
to be,
outside.
the noise or probably
and
the traffic to be in the shot or whatever. That's kind of
you can't stop the fucking traffic on the highway or the streets outside, but within the hey, listen, your dogs are gonna bark.
Hey, dog, come here. Bryce, come here.
Cole, God damn it.
Bryce, come here.
Get back here.
Bryce, get in here.
You understand? Please don't tell me you stopped recording so you can yell at your fucking dog.
No, I didn't stop recording. I'm just fucking irritated.
You're not going
to
cut this shit out of it either. You're not going to cut this out. I'm tired of you cutting shit out. You've been cutting my fucking burps out.
I have been doing that. Yeah. No, it's just
you did not stop recording.
It's the little one. It's the shit starter. I swear to God.
It doesn't matter. You could have just kept talking over it. I'm not bothered by it. And these other people, guess what? Now they're going to be bothered by all this. This is more distracting than the dog barking.
All right, continue.
Yeah, but no, it's like within the like on the premises, the like you have to stop driving because they have like the thing. And that's my point is you should get that for your house. You should get like a stoplight or something that's right outside of your house, so nobody can walk by. Nobody can walk by when you're recording because your podcast is important to that fucking neighborhood.
Way more important than fucking getting your evening jog in.
Yeah, is that what he was doing? He was jogging?
Yeah, and here comes some more people with 3 dogs.
Is he vegan too?
They're walking right by the old house with 3 dogs. Now they're really going to go. They're going to lose their shit.
Open your window right now and yell out, "Hey, take your dogs to another neighborhood. This is unacceptable. I'm doing a podcast."
I'm not going to do that. I would like to not alienate all my neighbors. I'm just going to let the
Speaking
the
of
old
your
dogs
neighbors,
bark.
I'm trying to segue into something here that's not going to work. So I'm going to pretend that Fabulous the rapper is your neighbor. Speaking of neighbors, hey, remember the rapper Fabulous?
Yeah, I do. I recall him mostly because we were just listening to a Fabulous song before we started.
Maybe. No, so you were just going to let that? I thought we were. No. Okay, that was an awful
breaking down the fourth wall.
Anyway. Yeah, we were just listening to Fabulous, and we're talking listening to because you were singing Chingy for some reason.
No, you started
Chingy.
singing Tipsy.
What?
Oh wait, no. Did I start singing it?
Yeah, you started singing Tipsy.
Yeah. We were getting ready to record, and all of a sudden it just hit me. And every now and then a song will just come into my stupid brain, and I was just going, "Everybody in the club getting tipsy." And so we had a little...
Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Yeah. Actually, you did that part, and I whispered.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything you're saying is the opposite. Jesus Christ,
it's man. Opposite day.
It's like Bizarro. It's like Bizarro fucking cast. Yeah, and then I brought up Fabulous, and then I couldn't remember how to spell it because I always spell it weird as Fabolous.
Fabulous.
And then I brought up, hey, could you imagine that this is where you should have been just recording because the initial conversation, which now to break down and explain things further to people, we could have done, we could have just, went into this bit and had the same exact conversation, but we're telling them about the conversation, and then somebody's going to be like, oh, I listen to a podcast, and you know what I hate is when they have to explain a thing to me. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God.
Go watch your fucking Ricky Lake. Ricky Lakes and your Maury Povich's, your Sally Jesse fucking Donatello's. I don't know.
That's not her name.
Anymore. No? I am so I'm out of the loop with these TV shows. But anyway, and I brought up with Fabulous. Imagine like that kind of music if a fucking cowboy. You went back in time. You took a cowboy from the 1800s, and you brought him here, and you play like current music or music within the past like 20 years, and you'd expect him to like something like you know,
Hank the Third, or something
Hank
like
the Third,
yeah.
or even Kenny Chesney, something, Travis Tritt, fucking, Lyle Lovett. Is Lyle Lovett even a fucking country dude?
I don't think. I mean, he is, but I don't know if he's around anymore. I mean, he might still do some music somewhere.
Well, I'm talking 20 years ago he was, or within the last 20 years. I said, but what would be really funny, though, is if he came back and they were like, man, I like that Fabulous guy. like out of all the fucking people that they could come back and like, it's Fabulous.
Fabulous.
I like that Fabulous.
I like them. Do you have that new Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Man, I love Bone Thugs. I love Bone Thugs. Yeah. I did. I was able to rap almost like every fucking Bone Thugs word from all, not every song, but the ones that I would listen to a lot, like No Surrender.
Boom, 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 boom. So tell me what you're gonna do when I ain't nobody. I don't. That's all I know. That's it.
That's it.
that's every Bone Thugs and Harmony word I know to any song.
Yeah, man.
Take me to the crossroads. There we go.
Yeah, Crossroads is alright. I used to love First of the Month, but I liked a lot of their shit. Anyway,
I did too.
But they even did some weird fucking some video where they were like dressed up as cowboys too, and it's just so silly. And there was like this one, I don't know if he was an albino black dude or if he was a white rapper or what the fuck, but he was super pale, and they were all sitting around the campfire and rapping and eating s'mores or some shit.
Oh gosh,
with cowboy hats. It was so horrible.
Oh boy, damn, I don't think I've ever seen it. Never seen it.
Fucking terrible, as my grandpa would say. Terrible. And I think that's also how Charles Barkley would say terrible as well. Maybe my grandfather and Charles Barkley.
Don't say Charles Barkley. I have a bone to pick with him right now. It has nothing to do with this podcast, but I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not friends with Charles Barkley right now. Not that Charles Barkley cares, but no.
Oh, okay.
Charles Barkley doesn't know me. I'm just irritated with him. That's all.
Hey, so yesterday, go back to the tattoo. Yesterday, we're there all fucking day. We get there, we're there from 1 o'clock to 10:30, and then afterwards I got the Paladin Knight on my wrist, and then I got the ox. Wagon wheel with the X on my hand.
Both very cool tattoos, I might add. Very cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I burped. Oh, I'm not supposed to say.
I'll cut that out. Don't.
You better not cut that out.
No, don't talk about it. I'll cut that out.
Nope, I'm talking about it. Apparently, whenever I burp, because I drink a lot of soda, so I become a gassy young man. Mm-hmm. And when I burp, he apparently goes through and edits my burps out because it disgusts him and his wife.
Well, you only do it about 64 times a show, so
then I should bump it up to 67.
Yeah, okay.
So I went to Walmart afterwards, and I'm walking around, and I picked up a Cobb salad, and I picked up 3 pickles. And some other stuff, and I look at on a magazine rack, and they have one of those those shit mags like fucking Enquirer or whatever,
National Enquirer or something like that.
Yeah, and there was this one, and it had Kurt Russell on it.
Really?
And it was it was like Kurt Russell dying. And I'm like, what? We just lost Bill Paxton. We can't lose fucking Kurt Russell.
No.
You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it, and he's got this shit on his lip. And I don't know if they're trying to say that he has lip cancer or whatever, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think that motherfucker was just eating a fucking bean burrito. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He just left some fucking Mexican place. He still has bean burrito on his lip, and they took a picture, and now they have him dying.
But did he look otherwise sickly?
No, he looked like he just ate a burrito, and he was very happy.
He just looked like regular Kurt Russell, except with he
looked like happy Kurt Russell. He wasn't all drawn in and fucking sick and dying. And Caitlin's like, you know what really probably happened? If it's real, he probably fell and cut his lip because he looked, he looked fine.
Let me ask you. I didn't see the picture because the way you're describing it, was it like a blood blister? Maybe he just had an STD or something.
It was a couple different it looked like it could have been scabs or bean burrito. Could have been black beans for all I know. I don't like.
So they were just around his lips, just around his mouth.
Yeah, it was around his bottom lip. Yeah. I'll have to find the picture, and so we could put it up on the old tweet machine.
We'll do that. We'll put the old Kurt Russell after he eats a bean burrito up on the Twitter machine. But as long as he's not real, but even if he was dying, if they take a picture and he's just got some scabs or little bumps around his lips, if you saw anybody on the street, if one of your friends came over tomorrow and he had little scabs on his bottom lip, would you be like, dude, are you dying? The first thing I would be like is like, dude, did you get punched? Or did you fall? Yeah, or did you fall? Or do you have an STD? I would think one of those things way before I ever jump to, oh, I'm so sorry, bro. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know that you had terminal fucking lip cancer. So
right. But that's what they do. That's what those magazines do. It's their job. It's their job to do that. I want that job too.
Yeah, right.
Just
to lie about everything.
I could just start making shit up.
Just take pictures of people and then just lie about them. Yeah.
So I just Googled Kurt Russell and there's nothing on here. This is anything like you figure it would be one of the first things that pop up.
Of course, yeah.
It's
but like so when you see bumps, when you see things scabs on his lips or whatever, like what could he, if you're gonna post a picture like that and say Kurt Russell dying, like what could he possibly be dying from? He's got scabs on his lip. What is he dying from? Flesh-eating
cancer, according to Globe magazine.
Oh, bullshit. No, nothing's going to kill Wyatt Earp like that. Oh, he'll stop a bullet one day. That's about it.
All right, here we go. I just found this. So, all right, check this out. Movie He-Man Kurt Russell is suffering from a...
They called him Movie He-Man?
Yeah, that's what they call him. A cancerous disease that's eating the flesh on his face. Top doctors tell Globe in a world exclusive.
Top doctors?
The top doctors of the world.
They probably went to a medical marijuana facility. Oh, it looks like flesh-eating bacteria, man.
Yeah, they say he's it says, now friends fear the 65-year-old Hateful Eight hunk is dying.
Hateful Eight hunk. Why are you going to bring up the Hateful Eight?
That's the one. That's the movie that they picked.
That's the movie they bring up. The Hateful Eight hunk. He's done a couple more. How about Big Trouble in Little? When I think of Kurt Russell, I always think of Big Trouble in Little China first. Actually, I think of Tombstone first, obviously, but Big Trouble in Little China is a close second. And then like Escape from L.A., Escape from New York.
Isn't Kurt Russell the guy that Walt Disney wrote on a piece of paper?
I
think he.
I have no idea.
I have to consult with Buckaroo Brian. Hey, Buckaroo Brian.
Hey, Buckaroo.
Yes. Is Kurt Russell the guy that Walt Disney wrote on the piece of paper?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
What good is he, really?
What good is he? I don't know. I should fire him, really.
Yeah. So what was the deal with the paper? I don't know anything about Walt Disney writing a name on a piece of paper. What does that even matter?
Right when Walt died, he wrote his name on a piece of paper. But he wrote Kurt Russell's name, but they don't know why it was written on there. Like,
he was probably trying to finish the sentence "killed me."
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Kurt Russell killed fucking Walt Disney, and he was like. As he's dying, he's like Kurt Russell, and then he just fucking died.
Yeah, right.
Fucking poisoned.
That has to be it. Has to be it.
It was either he was he wanted him for a role because apparently Kurt Russell had signed on for like so many years, like he signed like some Disney contract. So maybe he that's what he was doing some movie, or that's who he had in mind for a movie, or that's who killed him.
Yeah,
because
or poisoned me, or something like that.
Yeah, like I'd be writing somebody's fucking name down too, if if I could. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was funny with the fucking when I saw that on there, like he's dying as some as the Globe says, flesh-eating cancer.
If you could, if I had a nickel for every single time I go in the grocery store and learn somebody new is dying and then they never die, I mean, oh boy, those magazines and I don't understand who their target audience is. I've never seen someone buy a National Enquirer in my life. I've never seen one sitting in a fucking doctor's office or at somebody's house. I just don't know who buys them. Why? Who goes and buys the National Enquirer?
There are people that vote a certain way that I believe would believe this shit. We don't talk politics here, but there are people that vote a certain way. Yeah, so anyway. So here's another headline. I guess it's from the same magazine. It's it's Lisa Marie Presley, and it's saying, how I blew Elvis's $1 billion fortune.
I thought you were going to stop after just Elvis.
How I blew Elvis, yeah. No. That's when I was reading it, I'm like, ooh, this
all
is
right.
sexy.
Shit, you had it. You picked it up. You're digging through your wallet for fucking $2.50 to buy the National Enquirer. You just want to learn
really
how big was his cock.
Yeah, and then no, it's how she blew the fortune. Who gives a shit about that?
I think the people who mostly buy National Enquirers are just crazy shut-ins, people who. It's they have to send their son out who I mean they're half mentally retarded son to buy them groceries, and she's and get me the National Enquirer. And it's because I'm telling you, I've never seen one in anybody's house. I've never seen anybody reading one except for standing and laughing at it at the cash register, and then putting it back in the rack and being like, well, fuck that. Oh, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to as you're I'm also trying to go through this. So Buckaroo Brian send me a link. It's from desertsun.com, and it's ask Will Walt Disney's last words were ... what? And apparently it's this guy you're supposed to stump, try to see if you could stump him. His name is Will Torn of the Desert Sun. And it says, it appears that one of the last communications Walt Disney made shortly before his death on December 16th, 1966, was a note he jotted down on a pad and paper in his Burbank office, Kurt Russell. And it says, actually, Kurt, it was spelled K-I-R-T. Weird. And then...
But it said Russell? It was spelled Russell, though? It said Kurt Russell, but it was spelled K-I-R-T? Or did it just say Kurt?
Yeah, I would have to see it. I don't know if when it says actually, and this is Kurt in quotes, I don't know if they're saying it was just the word Kurt itself or Kurt Russell, but Kurt was spelled that way. But it says, according to an April 2007 Jimmy Kimmel Live interview, Russell himself was shown this pad from Disney's office, which had been preserved more or less intact since his death. So he said he didn't know what it meant.
Why would they assume that it had to say Kurt Russell then? Because they wouldn't just show it to. They could just show it to anybody named Kurt. Yeah, his name wasn't even spelled right.
Right.
So I had to say Kurt Russell.
I have to move my. Here we go. I had to move my laptop screen out of the way. I'm trying to see the notepad.
It'd be really crazy if in the next week or so, Kurt Russell dies from some sort of skin disease, and his last words are Walt Disney, written on a piece of paper, and then just a line scribbled to the bottom of the page as he's falling down his desk. If I was Kurt Russell and I knew I was about to die, I would just do it just for the fuck of it.
Just fuck with the world.
Yeah, just fuck with the world. Just write Walt Disney on a piece of paper.
Just right, yeah. That'd be great. We should, you know what? We should do that. Let's always have.
We'll have a pad,
fucking piece of paper next. Listen, next to our bed at all times. We're just going to write Kurt Russell on a piece of paper, and we're going to have it next to our bed. So just in case we die, It's just there.
So every night for the rest of my life, I get too drunk and I'm sitting beside my bed just vomiting into a trash can. I'm just gonna have a piece of paper. It's probably gonna say Oxford on it 100 times. And
all right. Well, I thought we were going to go with Kurt Russell, but we don't need to go with Oxford.
Oh, I thought we were doing it for each other. Like you would write my name and I'd write yours.
I'm writing Buckaroo Brian is what I'm writing.
Dude, no, they're like this. Just, you know what you do is put a note in your pocket that just says Buckaroo Brian killed me, and just take it with you everywhere you go. So no matter when you die or where you die, somebody's going to find that note and be like, what the fuck? He knew he was going to die because he knew Buckaroo Brian was going to kill him. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But anyway, Kurt Russell, not dying, probably.
Kurt, let's hope not. We already lost, one fucking Earp.
Already lost Morgan.
Yeah, we don't need to lose Kurt Russell to burrititis. 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 I don't know. Is that would be the medical term?
Let's go to our first break.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
Let's go. I'm not going to argue with you.
No, not today.
No.
Well, we're going to go to our very first break once I find it here. Here we go. So, because we're going to keep it to an hour and a half today. Come hell or high water, Ox. We're not doing this 2.5 hour shit anymore. Here we go.
Maybe we'll
go ahead.
Do it less than that. Goodbye. I love you. Bye.
Smoke Wagon presents A Short History of the West.
It was a moment Wyatt Earp wanted to forget. He was lounging in a Wichita saloon on January 9th, 1876. His pistol slipped out of the holster, hit the floor, and went off. Nobody was hurt, but Earp, on the police force, was a bit embarrassed. It made the papers that week. Earp later confirmed the incident to his biographer, Stuart Lake, but asked the writer to keep it out of print. Lake complied. Instead, he quoted Wyatt Earp as saying professionals would never carry a live round under the hammer of a single-action revolver.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, what a clumsy old fuck.
We don't need to talk about Kurt Russell like that, man.
No, this was the actual Wyatt Earp. He, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
The real one.
The actual Wyatt Earp.
Last week, we were talking about Westerns, Western culture and everything in the 50s. And, we talked about, I was talking kind of why it was popular and stuff, and the comic book code and, Westerns, how it kind of went away after the comic book code was implemented.
Right.
And one thing we didn't really tackle was we know about the TV shows, the Rifleman and stuff like that, but and we know that from books came, it went from books to radio shows to TV because, it's just whatever the, your medium is, it's going to change.
Right.
But one thing we didn't really talk about for whatever reason was Cowboys and Indians. And I thought that was one of those things that kids would always play. Mm-hmm. And then it changed, obviously, to later on, it would change to cops and robbers, Mm-hmm. I just always thought it was kind of fucked up that you're playing the cowboy because obviously you're taught to play Cowboys and Indians, that inherently the Indians are evil.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever really volunteered to be the Indian playing Cowboys and Indians. Yeah. But the funny thing is, I think people would volunteer to be the robbers in Cops and Robbers. So
I don't know. I mean, maybe some did want to be the Indian because some kids thought the headdresses were sweet.
Yeah, there were some kids definitely in the 50s and stuff who loved the headdresses and dressed like Indian, on Halloween and stuff. They'd be Indians.
When I grew up going to up in the Poconos. Okay, so in Philly, and obviously most places, we have places around us that have Indian names. In Philly, obviously it was Lenape. Buckaroo Brian, how do you say the Indians that lived by Lenape? Lenape, I think it was the Lenape Indians.
The Wannapes.
They're the Lenape, and then there were the Delaware Indians, obviously, which is where we get the name Delaware. But there was a street that was right near, like where I lived, called Moyamensing. Moyamensing is an old Indian name. Now, it's just funny because I remember there was this lady on Pal Talk, very, very annoying woman. And I remember talking about, oh, yeah, I lived on Moyamensing Avenue. And I remember her going, Moyamensing? What kind of name is that? That's so stupid. And this is supposed to be some liberal, progressive lady. Her name is Lori. And I always said she looked like He-Man. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue. No.
She's from she lives in Colorado. She had a husband named Ken, bald head. She had like this blonde hair, really annoying fucking, oh gosh, she looked like He-Man. Anyway, and there was a lot of Indian fucking names around, and so I would go up to the Poconos. That was like you went two places when you grew up in Philly, really, for vacation. You went down the shore, which was Wildwood, or you would go to like Atlantic City and stuff like that. Or you would go up the mountains, which would be, the Poconos, really, which is what we were referring to.
Do you know what Poconos means, like in Indian language?
Pocono?
Does it mean like something, or is it?
No, I thought you were asking because you knew.
No, I was just wondering if you knew what the translation or whatever was. But
no, not offhand. No, but I can fucking look it up.
No, it's all right. Keep going. I'll look it up.
Okay. So when I would go to the Poconos, in Mount Pocono, there was this movie theater, and in the movie theater was like an ice cream place. So, you get food and ice cream and a movie, and across the street there was this like little shop that I would always go in. You could buy spears and you could buy like all kinds of novelty stuff. And I remember buying like headdresses and spears and shit all the time when I was a kid. They would have all these things because the whole idea up that way is like, like they try to push the Indian thing,
It comes from the Mincy or Muncie Indian word Pocowakne, which means creek between two hills.
Oh, okay. I had to hit mute on the microphone real quick to yell to get for my daughter to get the dog because she's supposed to be watching the dog and the dog's outside the door here and I don't know what the dog's doing. Yeah, there were all kinds of there was like Lake Wallenpaupack Pack up there, and all like I said, all kinds of weird, Indian or not weird Indian names, but strange to us because like we're not too familiar, and especially somebody else, I guess like her, it's super strange. But then I start thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, you're in Colorado, how the fuck don't you have Indian names near you?
Yeah,
there are Indian names everywhere. How the fuck did you escape? How did you escape an Indian name? Is
Colorado itself an Indian name, or is that just something that somebody made up?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Colorado was an Indian
I feel
word?
like most state names, except for the ones on most of the ones on the West Coast are obviously Mexican names. Most of the ones on the East Coast are mostly European names, English names.
European names, yeah.
And then in the Midwest, pretty much everything is named after Indian, like Oklahoma, Kansas.
Spanish.
What's Spanish?
Colorado.
Colorado Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh well, was it owned by the Spain?
No, the name was just Spanish.
Just the name. Okay, it's Spanish. Yeah. So anyway, we had these. Like, I was about to say reservations. They're not reservations. They're campgrounds. There's a difference between the two. I always confuse reservations and campgrounds. So we had one called the Pocono Ranchettes, and we had one called Indian Country. And obviously, like I said, they pushed the whole Indian gimmick up there in the Poconos.
Right.
And we were talking about like playing Cowboys and Indians. Like I liked all that stuff. Like when I was a kid, I liked the Cowboys and I liked the Indians. But I think the game itself to be played is supposed to be that the Cowboys are the good guys and the Indians are the bad guys.
Of course.
Just like there's cops and robbers.
Yeah. And like I was saying in the last episode when I was reading Ender's Game, they did the I forget what the first one was, like military and buggers. When the buggers were the aliens, it was basically humans versus aliens. That's always good guys versus bad guys. Yeah, it's the nature of the game.
Yeah, and so not only like is it like the buggers and what is it, military buggers?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact words of the game, but it was basically the thing that you took from it was of humans versus aliens, good guys versus bad guys. It's always good versus bad.
Good guy, right, exactly, good guys versus bad guys. But another thing that kids would play a lot too, back during that time is they would have the Daniel Boone hats, like the coonskin caps.
Of course.
That was really popular, and shit, even when I was a kid, it was popular, like, in the 80s. And like kids dressing up for some reason as train conductors.
Yeah, train conductors, for sure, I remember.
Well, it's funny because there's this place, it's called Jim Thorpe, PA, and they have a 5 and dime store. Or
they named
the
city after a football player?
Yeah. Because that's where he went there. He lived there.
What was the name of the town before it was called Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania?
Mock Chunk.
I can't believe they renamed the entire town for a fucking football player.
Yeah, he was very popular there.
Holy cow!
It was like Mock Chunk, like Mauch, something like that, like Chunk. I don't remember the exact spelling. Monk Chunk, yeah, but it was like obviously another Indian word. And Jim Thorpe himself was Indian, native Indian, as they would say, feathered not dot. So anyway, so Jim Thorpe has this 5 and dime store, and they would sell like a lot of novelty stuff. And they had a coonskin hat I saw recently, and I think that's where I got one for my son, my youngest son, because I know he has one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we picked it up, which is really cool because it reminds me of growing up, like with all the novelty stuff, like the toy like rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you get like the old handcuffs. And when I was a kid, we used to have a novelty store called Gabriel's in South Philly, and you can get a lot of that stuff too. And then they used to have like the switchblade comb. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course, I had one. Yeah. Yeah, I
loved it. I loved my switchblade comb. Flip it open.
But then I was never like much of a hair comber, but I just had it.
Right.
But I don't know. I would just show it off. But I'm like, I don't really comb my hair with it.
I wasn't allowed to leave my house unless my hair was combed and my shirt was ironed and my pants were ironed, and like I had to walk out. Like it's probably why I look the way I do today, because it's like you rebel. Like you had to go out. Like if your pants were fucking wrinkly, you were sent back in the house. Like you can't leave. My mom would flip the fuck out. Like, I mean, she's still crazy OCD today. I could
have fucking worn a leotard to school. My mom wouldn't even have noticed.
Yeah, I did. Not me. So I always, my hair was always done, always. But yeah, going back to that, like. So you had like the Daniel Boone cat, and then like I said, the engineer thing. Now I think that this 5 and dime store I was talking about, I think they had an engineer cap that they were selling too. I think there were quite a few different ones.
The engineer's cap for some reason always reminded me of a chef's cap, sort of like the way it's like big and fluffy, sort of.
Big and fluffy, yeah. Yeah, and it's almost like that military style hat too, where it's got the
it's almost like it's like a hybrid between a chef's hat and the military hat. Yeah, it really is. It's a weird hat.
And I liked it too because my grandfather, who Ox, Tommy Ox, his father, James Oxenford, he worked on the railroad. He would shovel coal, into fucking for the trains and stuff, and so just that whole train thing was really cool. Like and going back, it's funny, we were talking about Wilmington, North Carolina. When I stayed there before, there was a Hojo, I think it was a Howard Johnson or something. I'm not sure. It might have. It doesn't matter what it was, but it used to be an old like railroad station, and they turned it into a fucking hotel.
Well, here in Kansas City, we have Union Station downtown. It was an old Union Station railroad station, and now it's just filled with shops, and I mean, they got like little exhibits and things in there, and I mean, it's a really, really cool place, but no longer a train station.
Well, Well, what I was saying, like when I went down there, I bought this golden spike, and it always reminds me of the wrestler Ming, because he had the golden spike, which is like the
oh yeah, I remember.
Always reminded me of that. But I bought it was an old railroad spike. They just painted it gold, and I bought it. And I don't know, I always had some weird little fascination with railroads and stuff. And it's funny you said Union Station. We have a Union Station here in the town that I'm in now, Pottsville. They spent like all this money on building this Union Station, and it's a beautiful looking place. Like when you ride by, it's like, oh wow, it's really nice looking.
Yeah.
And there are no trains that go out of it or come through because they never they didn't finish the the rail or whatever.
Yeah, if you just Google like a picture of like the of the skyline of Kansas City, the Union Station is right there in the front of almost every picture you see. It's right there. It's like the main. It's like the big part of the Kansas City skyline is that Union Station. That very first thing you see there, and it's like built like a coliseum. It's huge. I mean, you go inside it, and the ceiling. It feels like it's like 600 feet in the air, and it's a huge building if you go inside.
They don't use this?
I mean, they use it for little shops, and not for trains or anything, but for shops and exhibits and things like that.
Do they do like little gimmick train rides out of there?
No, I don't think they do anything like that. They'll use every now and then. They'll use it for events and things like that, like Royals events. Like Royals might do something there. They shot a commercial there a little while back, but I don't know. It's just there. They do like gimmick, like Easter rides and shit like that out of our Union Station. Now, our Union Station isn't anywhere as nice as your Union Station, but considering where we live, it's nice. It's crazy, though. They spend all this fucking money on this thing, and it just sits there, It's a shame because I like taking old train rides. Yeah. I love like the old steam. Like if you go to Jim Thorpe, as a matter of fact, they have like the old steam engines. I have never been on a train in my life. I've always wanted to be on one. Never been on one.
Oh, they're great, dude. They're great. That is funny because you think about the Old West, and it's weird because like. We talked about when they started bringing in, like electricity and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's kind of where it killed. That's where we don't like the Old West, or that's what we don't like about the Old West, and it's kind of like that with, with the trains too, because like as soon as they start building, the railroad, that's where it stops being the Old West, and it just starts,
the trains really were like the main defining factor in the Industrial Revolution. When they first started being made in like 1828 was when the first railroad was chartered in the United States. It was out of Baltimore. It was called the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. But once that started. By 1830, there were trains everywhere, like just coming up, and that, I mean, once all that trade started with the trains and everything.
Can you do me a favor before you start recording?
I have been recording. No, we have been recording. I'm just going to come to your job, and I'm going to see Buckaroo Brian over. I'm just going to when he's fucking. I'm gonna wait till he's on a call at work. And I'm just going, hey, before you get on
the phone, before you get down to business. Yeah.
So, way to throw me the fuck off. Right. Jesus Christ. What was I talking about?
Trains. I don't know.
Trains.
No, we were just talking about the first railroad in the United States was the Baltimore and Ohio.
Shut the fuck up, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, you go for it.
To me. What are you, Buckaroo Brian too? What are you, Brian Jr.? No.
Could you do me a favor before you start talking again?
One of the cool things about that is like I thought that anything with trains and the Old West. I like trains, I like the Old West, but do I want those two together? Nah, it won't really work for me.
Yeah.
Until I watch Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels was amazing. Yes.
I watched Hell on Wheels, and then I'm like, oh, this is fucking badass. Yeah. This is badass. Oh man, and I had to rewatch the pilot episode, and I rewatched it today. As a matter of fact, I rewatched it today, just because I wanted to see, like how it all started again. And there was one scene in particular that I really liked, and it was how the dude was talking about that the government's paying for this. So he like screams at the guy like, why would you design my railroad straight. Like, why would you put it straight? Because if they're paying for every fucking, foot of rail, he wants that shit to go up and down as much as possible, around every mountain as much as possible.
Yeah.
He didn't want it to go straight because you would
you're getting a commission for every mile that you build. You're getting money and more money. Basically, the shorter you build the railroad, if you're trying to make a straight shot, you're making less money doing it. What's the incentive? No incentive. So there's no incentive to keep the railroad going straight. But back when they started that railroad, they started the Union. The show is about the Union Pacific. It's about the Transcontinental Railroad as a whole. But they started. The Transcontinental Railroad was part of two railroads that were supposed to meet in the middle. One started in San Francisco, the other started in Omaha, Nebraska. So in San Francisco, the Central Pacific started, in Omaha, the Union Pacific started, and they were supposed to meet in the middle. But the thing was, for every mile of railroad these guys were building, they were getting paid a fuckload of money. So neither one of these guys really wanted this whole thing to end. They're just curving their railroads all over God's creation to making as much money as they can.
What's crazy about that is they're being paid on on the government's dime. So so they're like, shit, we're being paid. We don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're not. We don't want our fucking railroad to be straight. And it's crazy because you think back then, there was some motherfucker that was like, I don't understand why they couldn't just make the railroad straight.
Yeah.
And then there's some other person that's like,
why are all these curves in the fucking railroad?
Like, why are we going out? It seems like we're going out of the way, right? No. They had to do it this way because of, the mountains. And there's somebody that's going to sit there and justify why, when in actuality, it's because they fucking wanted to get
They could have gone absolutely straight. They just didn't because they're greedy sons of bitches and they wanted money. Not everybody was big fans of the trains when it first started. Like turnpike operators, the guys who operated the roads and stuff, where they felt threatened, obviously, because people weren't going to be using the roads anymore. Stagecoach companies, tavern owners, and innkeepers, they felt threatened. Sometimes they would lash out with violence and stuff too. It wasn't just the Indians getting pissed off at these dudes for building the railroad through their land. It was Americans. It was Europeans that were there operating businesses the railroad was really fucking up at the time. Even religious leaders, for some reason, decreed the trains as sacrilegious. Don't ask me why the fuck that is, because my answer will just be me raising my arms in confusion and asking, does anybody know why religious people do anything? I don't know.
I just thought of something. Hey, let's not talk religion now. We don't want to alienate anyone.
Okay.
We don't want to alienate anyone. But listen, I was just thinking, when we do smoke, in the Smoke Wagon Studios, right? Our set will be set up like we're just, two fellas hanging around a bar. Right? Okay. Just hanging in a saloon. Two fellas hanging around,
I'm tracking.
Okay. Then I'm thinking, maybe a producer station, on another, it could be set up like an old rail car.
Make him wear a fucking conductor hat. Is that where you're going?
Yeah. Like you can only talk when you're wearing a conductor hat. We had a similar gimmick on one of our old podcasts. Me and Buckaroo Brian, when we just used the name Brian and Jack. It was how boring is that?
Silly.
Actually, I don't think we just used Brian and Jack. He was Brian Technico, and I was Jackie Rudo.
Oh,
that's
boy.
right. Because we used Jackie Rudo and Brian Technico, and Rudo and Technico were like the baby faces and heel type names.
Yeah, I got you.
In Mexican wrestling, one's a good guy, one's a bad guy. The Rudo being the bad guy. That's me, of course. I'm a natural heel. And on our show, we had, I think I talked about this. We had Big Ben. His name is we called him Big Ben Jabroni. That was his name on the show.
Big Ben
and
Jabroni.
We had on our mixer, we had a white shoelace, and that was our tag rope. You know when we watch wrestling?
Right, yeah.
Tag team,
you got to grab the rope. Yeah.
We made Ben hold the tag rope, and he could only talk if he tagged in. That was the thing. He could only talk if he tagged. We put him through a lot of shit. I was just reminiscing about that, and I I thought, it'd be a funny gimmick, similar gimmick if we, you could only talk if you had the conductor hat on, and you also have to say choo choo before and after. Choo choo before you speak. And, like in the military, it's like, sir, yes, sir.
Right.
Well, this is choo choo. You say what you have to say and then choo choo when you're done.
Did you ever read the book? Because I know a lot of people did. Did you ever read the book, Lord of the Flies?
No.
Well, they had this fucking similar thing.
Ask me if I throw out another title. Ask me if I read it.
Okay, I get it. You don't read books. Well, they had a similar gimmick in that fucking show where they're sitting around the fires and they would all want to talk to each other, but nobody could. They found this conch shell on the fucking beach and they wouldn't let anybody talk unless they were holding that conch. And if anybody else tried to talk, they'd be like, "I have the conch." Not stupid, but similar gimmick.
That is a little gimmick that's used in different things too. Yeah, you have like I forget what it's called. Buckaroo, help me out here, buddy. The thing where you have to hold to speak. Like if you're sitting around like a campfire and or something.
Like the talking stick or something.
The talking stick. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, so like Lord of the Flies had the conch. Yeah, talking stick. That's a really cool. I like that idea. It's really cool. But
it's really cool for storytelling. Like when you're sitting around a fire, like a campfire with some people. Just once somebody has a stick, everybody shuts the fuck up and just listen to the storyteller. It's a good idea.
Campfire. Right? Oh, absolutely! Campfire tales are fucking great.
They really.
As a matter of fact, speaking of campfire tales, there was like it was like one of those ghost story type shows, like Are You Afraid of the Dark? And
that's what I thought you were going to say. Was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, I love that show.
There's a movie called Campfire Tale. What was that, Brian?
I said it was a movie.
Well, I think there was something else too called Campfire Tales. It's hard to hear what he says because he's behind me and I have earbuds in and I just hear ooh. And I think he's grazing behind me and then he just moves. I'm not sure what happens. Maybe he just saw something really fucking delicious looking and he's just I don't know what's going on back there, but yeah, he said movie. Yeah, I like Campfire Tales.
Yeah.
Well, was that the one that had Buster Poindexter in it?
I don't know. I know it had the one of the girls from Hey Dude, the one that married Ben Stiller.
Christine Taylor. Yeah. She was in Hey Dude. Look at that. Come full circle. Did we not talk about Hey Dude on the show? Or was that before?
No, that was before. Yeah, we were just.
That was before. Damn it!
Yeah,
we were talking about Hey Dude. We were talking about Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts.
Salute Your Shorts. Yeah.
Why do we have?
Wait, which one of those shows wasn't the one of those shows like the theme song to it was like Welcome to Camp Onomatopoeia or something like that? Onomatopoeia.
No, it wasn't Camp Onomatopoeia. Very close. It was Camp Onawana.
Oh, Camp Onawana. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Which one was that?
We hold you in our heart.
And when we think about you, it makes us want to fart.
It makes me want to fart.
Yeah. Okay. Which one was that?
And what does Ugg say?
It's I hope we never part and I'll get it right or pay the price.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope you fucking Ugg.
Which one? Was Ugg Which show was that? Was that Salute Your Shorts?
Kevin. That was Salute Your Shorts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have seen that a couple times.
My favorite, there's a fat kid on there named Donkey Lips, and there's a girl, Dina, and Dina was like the good-looking one. There was a cute blonde, but Dina was like the pretty one, And I remember there's an episode where Donkey Lips got to kiss Dina, and I'm like 13 watching this, and I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Us fat boys do have a chance.
And then there was Salute Your Shorts. I was really fat when I was 13. I was chunky, a little chubby. I wasn't fat though, not like I am now. Jesus. Speaking of which, when we wrap this up, I got to get to the gym. It's funny. So Caitlin's like, all right, can you hurry up and do this so we can go to the gym or get something to eat? And I'm like,
Those are my two choices.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, let me weigh my options.
You have two choices. We can go to the gym or we can go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, that's probably where we would go because I would get a fucking iced coffee. Yeah. So it's like my two choices are lose weight or gain weight.
Exactly. Oh, man.
I'm really good at one of those. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I'm really good at one of those.
I could guess.
But going back to Hey Dude, oh man, that was a great fucking show. I really, really liked that. I really like Hey Dude. I like Salute Your Shorts too. They were great. The old Nickelodeon stuff. And then Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's where we're talking about like campfires. And
Was
shit.
it called Hey? Okay, I don't remember much about Hey Dude, but was it called Hey Dude because
Hey
they were
Dude-
on a ranch?
They were on the Dude. It was called the Dude Ranch.
Oh,
right.
Bar None Ranch.
The Bar None Ranch.
The Bar None Ranch.
Absolutely. It was called. Hey, speaking of, what would you fucking name your ranch if you had one?
oh boy,
Because if you don't have an idea of what you would call it, we could just do that as a segment next week. You know, we could have a whole.
Listen.
What'd you name?
I was prepared this week for you to. I didn't know what they were going to be, but I knew that you were going to ask some of these questions that you just the hypothetical questions that you come up with all the time. And I've been watching a lot. I was sort of prepared for it, and I've been watching because I was just going to make all my answers horror movie answers. Because I've been watching,
Okay.
I've watched
Fair
about
enough.
5,000 horror movies this week. I love horror movies. For anybody who doesn't know, I love them. So my first thought is, I'm looking over at my other wall in my little broadcast room here, and I'm looking at a little poster that says Camp Crystal Lake. And how about Camp Crystal? I want my ranch to induce. I want it to be nightmare inducing. Because I'm a practical man. I want people to come across my ranch.
So
Camp Crystal Lake. Camp Crystal Lake Ranch. Camp Crystal Lake Ranch.
Oh, but why would you still put lake in there? Why would it be Camp Crystal Ranch?
I don't know.
Because it's
Camp
lake.
Crystal Lake.
But yeah, I know.
But can it be a ranch on a lake?
That's weird.
Well,
In the middle of it?
the main goal
Like an
was I
island?
want people to see it and be terrified by it because I'm a practical man. I don't want visitors. I want people to see it.
Nobody is terrified by the name Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, but if they know what it is, though, yeah.
Or it could be Camp Crystal Ranch, and it's a picture of Jason wearing a cowboy hat. I mean,
a cowboy hat and a hockey mask.
Yeah, cowboy hat. Well, it's Jason, so we know he has the fucking hockey mask already. Can he have a bandana over?
Over the hockey mask? Oh, that's a pretty cool
the hockey
logo.
mask.
Yeah. That'd be badass.
Yeah, I'll draw that up. Maybe I can draw that up as
Camp Crystal Ranch.
I will not put lake in there.
That's fine. I'm cool with Camp Crystal Ranch.
Camp Crystal Ranch, and it'll look like the Camp Crystal Lake logo, but it'll be a ranch. It'll have like when you watch the show The Ranch, and it has or anything that has like the
ranch style writing. Yeah, I got you.
Ranch, but I'm
like
talking
it's in
about
an arc.
The entrance thing.
Yeah,
What's it called? I don't know what that's called. Yeah, I don't know what it's called either. The thing where it has like the name up top.
Yeah, it's a big arc that you drive underneath.
Yeah.
The big ranch arc sign thing.
Somebody's going to be listening. It's like, duh, it's called this. It's like, well, fuck you, if I
It's
knew
called
that,
a flimmy doodle.
Just say it. Yeah. Flimmy doodle. You face dancing with the dancing ball is over the flimmy doodle.
Yeah, that's the fucking flimmy doodle.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
God damn. They say they talk about westerns and shit. They don't even know what the fucking flimmy doodle is. Goddamn posers.
Yeah, it's, that's the thing, is that we're not. We just like what we like. So I'll do that sometime. I'll do that sometime this week, or next week, or sometime soon. I don't know. But I'll get that done, and I'll have that image up on a T-shirt. So nobody can buy our fucking T-shirts because Well, I do have a couple ideas up. We have to get our business cards done and our T-shirts, and I don't know what else. Maybe flags.
Flags.
Maybe we'll have a flag done.
T-shirts. Yeah. Underwear.
Our patches. It's really fucking cool. What I would really like to get done. I saw you one day. You were scoping. You're on Periscope, and you were walking down the street, and you're wearing, I guess, your Royals baseball jacket. And I was like, one of those old satin jackets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should get some smoke wagon satin
jackets.
Yeah, like the baseball ones. I used to have one. My dad had a grocery store, JTR's Grocery. It was named after me because my initials are JTR. And so I had my name, on it, and then on the back it had, my dad's logo or whatever the fuck, and the JTR's Groceries and shit. And I always liked wearing that jacket.
That's awesome.
I always,
I just said that's awesome. I didn't. You actually had a grocery store named after you. That's pretty crazy. It makes me wonder because when I grew up in Oklahoma, we always had IGA. It makes me wonder if it was named after some fucking dude.
Yeah, not only that, but my dad, he also had a license plate. It's a JTR-1. So
he liked you or something.
Yeah, he did. My dad loved me to a certain, and then
to a certain extent.
He had his demons, and it's tough. A big reason why I got this for him is the last he died on a it says the 2nd of December that he died, but the coroner said that he was probably dead for about a day when they found him. So we just say he died on the 1st, it was actually my mom's anniversary to her new husband too. So we're like, it's fitting that he died, The last time I talked, on their wedding day, the last time I talked to him was the week before, which is his birthday. And it didn't go well, that conversation. I said I had a lot of choice words, and said a lot of mean things to him.
That always sucks.
On the Monday.
Yeah, that's terrible. When,
and it was the last time I ever talked. Yeah, it was the last time I ever talked to him. And I actually saw him that Thursday. Now, that happened on Monday. And I saw him Thursday at my mom's house. He came up for Thanksgiving dinner because his birthday was November 25th. So, Thanksgiving's always, the Thursday? So, so he came there to the house, and we were all there. And, I saw him, like he was there. I saw him, whatever, but I didn't talk to him, and he didn't talk to me. And it was last time I saw him alive. And 3 days later, he's dead. So I don't know. It's always a tough thing,
Yeah, especially if you the last thing you said to him is on bad terms. That sucks. That really. I can't even remember the last thing I said to my dad before I knew he was dead. I don't recall it at all. But I was pretty young too, so I don't know.
I mean, obviously, my dad loved me. I do kick myself in the ass. Everybody, says oh, you can't beat yourself up over it, for the rest of your life. And I'm like, well, yes, I can.
Yeah, sure I can. Watch me.
I can. I will. Do I cry about it? Yeah. Do I cry about it? Yeah, I do.
Me too.
I cry about it a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't say shit. As an adult, I was 33 years old when it happened. Yeah. I wasn't 13. I wasn't 7. You know what I mean? I wasn't a little kid that, that's really sad. But then when you're, it just eats me, alive that I'm like, fuck. And then people are like, oh, well, he loved you. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I know he did. And yeah, we would have probably been talking a week after that.
Right.
Again, but.
Just died at a very inconvenient time.
Exactly. Like, how dare him die?
Yeah, I know, right?
When we're arguing, you fucking selfish bastard.
Yeah, I know, right? What's wrong with that fucking guy?
Yeah, so the grocery store was named after me, and his license plate was named after me, and I have the license plate in my bedroom, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
So I'll have to take a picture of it, and whatever, we'll put it up on the old
on the Twister
machine. The Twister. Yeah. Put up on Twister. I'll put up a Twister with that Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous and Twister.
All right.
And the Flemmy
Doodles.
Flemmy Doodles, yeah.
Put a picture of Flemmy Doodles up there with the Fabulous. The Flemmy Doodles and Fabulous.
God damn it, man. So going back to what I would name, going back to what I would name my ranch, I always liked Terry Funk's Double Cross Ranch. Terry Funk, the old wrestler,
Cross Ranch.
He's from Amarillo, Texas, and he had the Double Cross. Cross
was
Ranch.
Was that the real name of his ranch, or was that just where he kind of said he was from? You know how because the Undertaker will be like from Death Valley.
From Death Valley, right. No, he lived in Amarillo, and he called his ranch. He had a ranch, and he called it the Double Cross Ranch. Like, he just sold it, I guess 10, 15 years ago or whatever it was. Like, it was on the internet, and people were wrestling fans were like, oh, look, the Double Cross Ranch is for sale.
I wonder how much that thing sold for. Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's in Texas, so probably a lot.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger in Texas, especially price tags.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
What?
I believe they were asking like between $1 and $2 million for it.
He says he believes they're asking for $1 and $2 million. So we're eventually just going to have to get a microphone. Well, we have one. Speaking of which, I got some new equipment today. I got a mic arm and a pop filter and a.
Hey yo, going big time. We're going big time over here. Smoke Wagon's hitting the big time.
Well, I had other stuff too. I just didn't have like the mic arm, and I actually always wanted one, but that came today. And I get this little, shitty condenser mic. I have other condenser mics, but this is, I guess, a decent, it's a decent one just to have.
Yeah,
just to have a backup.
It works.
So, but anyway, so
it's time for the Western of the week.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we wrap it up, what do we have left here? And there you go. Yeah, we have the Western of the Week.
The Wagon Western of the Week.
I'm going to be honest. Last week, took shitload of fucking notes. This week, I didn't take any. I didn't take any notes.
I really didn't either.
I didn't take any notes, but I will say, I'll just to speed this up. I'll get it right into it. Don't need to draw it out. I really liked it. I really like the Long Riders. The Long Riders are Western of the Week. It's got Stacy Keach and his brother, so-and-so Keach. It's got all 32 Carradine brothers in it.
32 Carradine brothers.
It's got, Beta. Beta is the one brother. That's his name, right? Wait, it's not Beta Carradine?
No, it's Keith and David and somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, somebody else. Yeah, Robert? Bobbert. George.
Bobbert.
He was a lambda.
Who?
He was a lambda.
He was a lambda. Lambda. He was from the Nerds. Remember Nerds?
You know what I never realized when I was watching this movie last night? When I'm watching The Long Riders, which is a 1980 movie about, obviously, the going theme for the show the last few weeks has been Cole Younger, James Younger, the Younger gangs, and mostly about the Northfield Raid. But I didn't realize, me and you are both Dexter fans, the TV show Dexter. Yes. And I was watching The Long Riders last night, and I saw a face. I saw a face in The Long Riders, and I was like, holy cow. I was like, that guy is Agent Frank Lundy. And I did not, and it was Keith Carradine. And I had no idea that that Frank Lundy was Keith Carradine. But I saw his face, I knew it immediately as soon as I saw him.
He's also Wild Bill Hickok in Deadwood.
Really? Yeah, but back when I might have noticed that, but back when I watched Deadwood, I had never seen Dexter. But yeah, but I totally, I'm in agreement with you. This movie was totally fucking rad.
What I'm saying is you're like, oh, it's Frank Lundy, and I'm like, or Frank fucking whatever his name is, and I'm like, yeah, but it's Wild Bill Hickok from Deadwood. Like, I thought you would jump at that one.
I haven't seen that show in so long.
Oh, okay. He's really good. I mean, dude, not for nothing, all the Carradines are good. David Carradine is my favorite Carradine. Mm-hmm. He was just, I don't know, I loved him.
He was phenomenal in this movie. Yeah, he was great as Cole Younger.
He was.
There was so many. The way he treated that woman too made me laugh my fucking ass off. When there's a scene where Cole Younger is laying in bed
mustache?
with this.
You talking about Mustache?
Is that her name? Well,
did you see her fucking mustache?
I didn't even notice it. No. But he's laying in bed with his whore.
Stop for a minute.
Okay.
Stop. Here's the thing. I want to make fun of this lady's mustache, and then you were going to go with like fucking, like actual facts about the movie. How did you get past that caterpillar on her fucking lip, dude? How did you get past that? It's as thick as my beard. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I didn't take notes. I didn't take them because I couldn't get past her fucking mustache. Now, the acting I thought was really good, and it there was like some tense moments in there, and there was some fun shit, but that fucking goddamn fucking okay. It was at the point. Do you see? Oh. I'm about to fucking gag. There was another scene where she's in the fucking tub and she stands up, and I just screamed at my TV, "Sit down!" Because, and now somebody probably thought that I was yelling at one of the kids. I wasn't. I was screaming at the TV because when she stood up, not only does that bitch have a mustache on her lip, but she looked like she had one on the top of her ass crack. Like she had a Hitler mustache on the top of her ass crack. It was either that or a really bad shadow. It was fucking disgusting. Like she was sprouting a tail. Like it looked like somebody just docked a boxer. They had those little fucking. It was disgusting. I'm staring at it. I'm like, that is so fucking gross.
Yeah, when he talks her out of getting out of that tub and like coming and laying down and having sex with him and whatever, and she's like, and this girl, you can tell, you almost feel bad for this girl in the movie because she. Like Cole he lays on the charm so well to her, and then like they're laying in bed after they have sex, and she's like, "Oh, geez, if I keep doing this with you, I figure you might make me an honest woman." And he just kind of looks at her, he's like, "Marry you?" He's like, "Nobody's gonna make you an honest woman." She's like, "Why?" She's like, "You're a whore, and you'll always." And he goes, "You'll always be a whore." He goes, "That's what I like about you."
There was the other scene too where she's in the carriage.
Yeah, she pulls up in the wagon.
Yeah, and she's like, "Come on over here," and he's just like, "You're a whore."
No, she comes up. She goes, "Seems because it was the party where Bob."
I'm getting to the funny part. You're a stickler for every fucking word in between.
Well, no,
you'll be like, no, but he said, while I have to walk over to the car, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about all the other shit. The funny part is when he's just like calling her a fucking whore. Oh my god.
Well, the reason she calls her that, she comes up, she says there's a big party going on because he was at a wedding party, and she's like, "That's an awful big party over there. Why didn't anybody invite me?" And he's just like looking at her stone face. He's like, "'Cause you're a whore. Why would we invite you?" And then he just starts walking away.
Like that would really stop people back then. Like all the women weren't fucking whores back then. They were all whores.
Right.
But it was great. No, there was good writing. It was really funny, man.
Yeah.
She was great in her role. I don't know what I've seen her before, and I can't think of her name. Off the top of my head. Obviously, I could IMDb her, but she was really good in it. Aside from having the fucking disgusting mustache. We need to put that up on Twitter too.
Yeah,
I hope we're taking notes of everything that we're talking about that's going to go up on Twitter for this show. Because her mustache and her ass mustache is probably going to go up there too. We'll do a side-by-side.
This movie,
as well as the old side-by-sides.
Unlike the great Minnesota Northfield raid, which we watched last week, this movie was not an alternate history movie. I mean, there were some things that weren't completely accurate in it. Like Clell Miller was supposed to die outside the bank, and he didn't. And also, Clell Miller, they pin him as the guy who shot Haywood, which he wasn't. Frank James killed him. And they didn't show Cole Younger killing the guy outside the bank, but those are just little things. And for the most part, this movie is pretty accurate for what exactly happened. And I mean, it was so good. One of my favorite things was towards the end when Cole Younger and Frank James are sitting across the train car. They're sitting in the train car, and their seats are facing each other. And Cole Younger says, "When this is all over, I'm going to write a book. Make myself more famous than I already am." And Frank James goes, "I trust you'll give me a copy." And Cole goes, "Nope, you got to pay, Frank. You got to pay." And the funny thing is, he did write a book.
Badass.
Yeah, you got to pay.
Nope.
You got to pay, Frank. But yeah, and
it was really good.
And there was the scene where when Frank James and Jesse James were actually leaving the Youngers. They were loading up, and Cole Younger stood up, and he's like, "Frank," he's like, "You ain't going too, are you?" And he's like, "I got to stick by my brother." And Cole Younger loaded his gun and pointed it at him, stuck it in their face. He's like, "The Youngers don't need you." You remember that scene? Oh boy!
What's crazy about what there's a few things that I just can't get past. Other than, I mean, aside from it, it is a really good movie. I really fucking enjoyed that movie. Probably my favorite to date. And so, just to get this out of the way, I'm going to give it 8.5 shiny badges.
We don't do halves, Ox.
I know, but that's how much I liked it. I want to give it a half. Can we make an exception for one half? One time.
All right, Ox.
You're not going to let... You
know what?
Oh, you're going to let...
You know what?
Oh
I will let you do 8.5. But if that's the case... Listen, I'm not doing halves. And I want to give this movie an 8.5. And if I have to give it an 8.5, I'm rounding up, and I'm going to tell you, this movie gets 9 shiny badges. 9 shiny badges. I loved it.
Oh, I thought you said 9 Chinese badges.
9 Chinese badges. Yeah.
9 Chinese badges. Okay.
9.
I don't know what they are, but I like those.
On a scale of 0 to 10, on a scale of ridiculous 6 to Tombstone, 0 to 10, I'm going to give it 9 shiny, because I want to give it 8.5 too. And if I want to give it 8.5, I suppose I have to give it 9.
All right, I'm with you. I will give you 9.
9 shiny badges.
9 shiny badges. Look, it's not a masterpiece, and there's some goofy stuff, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites.
Unbelievable acting, great story. I mean, it's a historic story. It's one of the great Wild West stories of all time that's been written over and over and over again. But it's a great adaptation of it.
What's funny about that is that was one of the movies that when we first were doing the show, we were looking for different things to watch. I just watched on my own, and I watched just a little bit of it, and I was like, "This is awesome." Yeah. And then I watched a little bit of it again, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome," but I didn't finish it. So finally, I went and I watched it. Now, a couple different things that I can't get past, and it's really hard, besides the lady's mustache and ass stash, is the fact that you have Randy Quaid and Dennis Quaid, right? They goofy ass.
Yeah, I get you.
Goofy ass Randy Quaid.
They always throw me off because I always remember him from the Vacation movie. That's all every time I see his face, I think about that fucking Uncle Eddie from the Vacation movies, and he's Clell Miller in it, who is supposed to be a badass, and he's the one who shoots Haywood in the movie. But I'm just still like, you're a goofy motherfucker. The whole movie, I just can't get it out of my head.
And then you have the other Carradine brother. I think it's Robert, who is in the Nerds movies. It's like you could take David seriously, you could take Keith seriously, but then when you see fucking Robert, you're like, I can't take you serious.
And Randy Quaid, it's hard.
Him and Randy Quaid, I can't take these two serious because now you wouldn't know them obviously if you watched that first because it's 1980. So you watch that and you might, but even though fucking Randy Quaid was super fucking baby-faced at the time, it was weird, looking at how young he was and everything. But it's just crazy that we know how goofy they became after that, Well, Dennis became a really good actor, and Randy is always you could never take Randy serious.
Yeah, no, he's goofy in everything he does, so.
I liked the Ford brothers in the movie too.
Yeah, you know what? I was really that was one thing that really confused me too, because I had no idea that the Ford brothers ever met Cole Younger. I thought the Ford brothers were all met Jesse, or both of them met Charlie and Bob Ford. I thought they met Jesse after. What the fuck is that? Did you finish your tea?
Oh, that was my phone. No, go ahead. Yep.
Okay. But I thought they both met Jesse after the Youngers were already incarcerated, after they escaped the Northfield raid.
Right.
I thought that's when they met Charlie and Bob Ford. But I don't know if this is historically accurate or not, but apparently
Well, I was looking last night. You texted me about that, and so I started looking at dates. I was looking it up, and it was I don't think that could have happened because of when Bob Ford killed Jesse James, Bob was 20 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When the Minnesota raid happened, he would have been 14. Right now, in the assassination of Jesse James, they make fun of him because he would collect all this Jesse James stuff because I guess Jesse James was getting so popular that they were actually writing Pulp Fiction about it, or not even fiction, but just writing different stories about him. He became which I don't even know I want to talk about that, so we can actually talk about that in another episode.
Sure.
Because I really get into that. We haven't made that a movie of the week, have we?
No, I can't wait to though.
That's got to be
sure.
Yeah. But anyway, but going back to that, so I don't know, because I don't think that they would have met just because of the age and
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't seem like they would have. I think they just did it for, they just got these names and they were like, oh, let's just make them know each other.
Had two more brothers and like wait, there's the Ford brothers. Let's just throw them in there too.
Right. Which were played by the Ford brothers in this. Charlie and Bob were played by Nicholas Guest and David Guest. And Nicholas Guest, very, very funny. I don't know David Guest really, but I actually like him better in the movie. I thought he was better. He played Charlie.
I didn't think
Nicholas Guest played Bob.
I did not think that. I was not expecting for them to take the movie all the way to Jesse James's death, where he was adjusting the picture and everything. I was like, wow, they're going to really take this all the way. And when Charlie Ford shot him, I thought it was pretty crazy, or just weird or unique that he said, when he pointed the gun at him, he said, "I killed Jesse James," or "I shot Jesse James," right before he shot him.
What do you think is a better ending?
What, that or the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford?
Yeah.
I said Charlie Ford before, by the way. I meant Robert Ford, Bob Ford.
That's fine.
No, it's definitely the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I mean that scene was so fucking super emotional and heartbreaking at the same time. And then plus, they had Sam Rockford there, and you thought Sam Rockford was going to kill him for a minute, who played Charlie Ford. Sam Rockford raised up his gun to shoot him when he realized that his brother Bob might not be able to do it, and then Robert Ford, finally is just like, all right, and it was it was such an emotional scene. I don't think you're ever going to see a better shot scene of the death of Jesse James than in the assassination of Jesse James.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So with that, do we have a movie for next week, or do we want to make that our movie for next week?
You want to do the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford next week?
Did you have something set up? I don't know.
I didn't have anything set up. No, I completely forgot.
Then there you go.
There we go. The assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford is the movie. Next week, we're just going to stick with this James Younger kick for I guess for another week. So I mean, it's until
we tire it out.
Yeah,
really.
until we wear
it out. Until we just can't fucking stand it anymore. To the point to where you change your name and I change my name, and then you're no longer Cole and I'm no longer Ford. And I'll just become Ox. I don't know, Ox. Something. I don't know. Right. Ox Riley. I'm Ox Riley all of a sudden. And yeah. So all right, so just to plug things, we're now on we have our website up.
The website's up.
Smoke Wagon. Yeah. SmokeWagonRadio.com. It's up, it's running. There's some things that are gonna have to be tweaked. I think I don't know if we're gonna do it daily, weekly, whatever, but we'll have a different Fact or Fiction up. I'm going to guess every couple days we'll change that. But yeah, we have our bios up there. We have the playlists up there.
It's a beautiful website, folks. If you get a chance, go there and check it out. He put a lot of hard work into it, and it shows. It looks really, really nice. Really,
yeah. It's really just has the essentials. Just, I don't have a whole lot of bells and whistles and just stupid shit. Like I'll go on these different websites and they'll have all kinds of crazy fucking pages. And I'm like, why? I don't want that. I just want a couple things. I just want to, I want to go there for something specific. If somebody's going to Smoke Wagon Radio, they're going to go there to listen to to the show. But, it's got our Periscope section on there too. So, if we're live, it'll tell you when we're live on Periscope. And I have I have my Periscope, your Periscope, and, the main Smoke Wagon Radio Periscope, which, by the way, I run it anyway, so I never really use my own personal Periscope too much.
And, of course, our Twitter feeds are up there. Everything. Yep. You can find us on pretty much everything these days. If you want to check me out on
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. If you want to check me out on Snapchat, even, you can go to Nathan Is Drunk on Snapchat. I've been snapping on there quite a lot, too.
You know what? You have to let me know so I can put a Snapchat button up there.
Yeah.
And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, love mail, hate mail, you could write us at smokewagonradio@gmail.com. And, our Facebook's on there too. Fucking Instagram. And I think I don't want to keep putting, shit up there that we're not really going to use. That's why I didn't put Snap, because it was completely out of my mind.
I have been using. I've been messing around on there. I put up a pretty little thing on there today. So
yeah, I don't do the whole snapping thing, so it's not my thing. But if you want me to put it up there, I'll do that.
Nah, it's no big deal. All right,
I
so
will put our
anyway,
Facebook
catch us
page up
next
there.
week. Listen, don't forget our movie of the week. Next, our wagon western of the week for next week is going to be The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Fuck yeah.
Go ahead and watch that one, and we'll give it a good once-over next week, and we'll rate it, and we'll do all that stuff. So make sure to follow us on all our media, on our social media accounts, just like Ox has detailed for you, and catch us next week on Smoke Wagon, because it's the business.
I apologize.
Ain't that a pity? That's not how I'm supposed to say that. Ain't that a pity? This not even in the States. We can't interview this.
My real name is LaFleur.
What are you eating over there?
Some shrimp. I got shrimp.
Shrimp. Yeah.
Shrimp and noodles.
We're still recording, are we?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
They still hear this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Caitlin came in and she's like, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I have 2 minutes left. So, all right, man.
All right.
Fuck these people. I mean, I love you people.
Have fun at the gym, dude. All right, good night, everybody.
Eat and hopefully do that. Peace, people.